Hey everyone, Records Rebuilds here. Today a bit of a different project. What I have here is a Pioneer SX1250. This is a big, powerful receiver from the mid-70s, 160 watts per channel, rock your house down kind of receiver. It cost around $1,000 when it was new, maybe just under that. And that's at a time when maybe a new Corvette cost maybe $7,000. So very expensive, probably $3,000–4,000 in today's dollars. They still sell for a couple $1,000, at least on eBay. This one is my father-in-law's. He's been having trouble with the left channel, has brought it into a local repair shop a few times. They've fixed the problem only for it to come back the first time he plays it. So he stopped going to that repair shop. He's getting desperate, so he's let me attempt a repair on it, or at least a diagnostic on it. We turn it on here, and I don't know, not sure if you can hear it here, but I've just got it hooked up to some cheap test speakers here, and you can see the right channel is playing, the left channel is not. Potential control cleaning. Don't think it's that at this moment. Next thing to test is the pre and the power amp. Potentially issues in one of those boards. To sort of isolate it, to figure out where the problem might lie, what we need to do is we need to remove the jumpers. So jumpers between the pre and the power amp here, if you can see it. And we'll remove these. And instead, we'll replace them with RCA cables. Now, you're going to have to trace the line on your RCA cable, but you'll cross them, right? So you take our left preamp and stick it into our right power amp and see if the issue persists. So right here, in fact, we could just cross them both. All right, so we've got them hooked up, left preamp to right power amp and vice versa here. So we'll turn it back on. And we got the same issue going here. And no sound here. What that means is we don't think the left preamp has any issues, right? It's powering the right power amp and we get sound out of it still. It must be the left power amp that's having issues. So we'll open this guy up, take a look around, get out the test meter, test some values, and see where it takes us. Okay, we've got the SX1250 now opened up. It's pretty inside as well, laid out in lots of smaller cards rather than one large PCB board, or if you're familiar with old tube stereos, wire to wire, point to point wiring. We've already tested the preamplifiers, they checked out good, so next we're going to move on to the power amplifiers, or I've already moved on to the power amplifiers. The right power amplifier is down here, left up here. They're identical cards, just on opposite sides. Remember, the left isn't producing sound, the right is. So there's a couple test points on here to set bias and DC offset. You can pull the manual to see how to do that. Both cards actually tested good. I actually flipped them too. So I flipped the right and the left, and still the same issue presented itself, where I'm getting sound out of the right and nothing out of the left. So I don't think we have a problem with the power amplifier cards. Everything looked good. So the next thing I did is I went and I tested the, I don't know how well you can see it here, but underneath each of these are the output transistors. I tested those. I wasn't getting the right readings, so I went ahead and replaced these. I think the one thing I'd say when you replace these is make sure and remove the heatsink so you can really push the transistor in from both sides and not accidentally damage the transistor. If you just try to push it in from this side, the plug on the other side wants to move around. So it takes just a few seconds to unscrew a couple screws and that heatsink will come right off. Where I think I've located the issue is actually in the protection circuit relay. So this protection circuit was right in here. I've removed it to make it quicker, easier for you guys to see. The protection board, it's had some work done on it. You can quickly go online and see that this relay here, it typically is sitting upright. So someone's put jumper wires into the old terminals. And this protection circuit, or this, excuse me, this relay, I don't know if you can see it very well there, but there is a burn mark inside of it. And I actually think there's a pretty good potential that this relay is what's causing my problem. Even though normally if a relay kicks on, it would protect both speakers. You wouldn't get sound out of either. There's a burn mark. So that relay, there just may be one side that's not working well. I also noticed that this relay isn't wired up fully. There's some empty terminals. So someone did some work in here and maybe didn't finish the job. I've gone ahead and ordered a new relay. It's set up for this card. It has the right terminals and it will sit right in here like so. You can see it's crystal clear. There's no burn marks on this one. Now this one, someone glued it to the card before they put it in here. So I'm going to cut these wires, desolder them, but I don't think I'll try to remove this because I'm afraid that I could damage the actual PCB board. Okay, so I've replaced the relay, have a brand new relay now in the old spot. It's sitting in the position that the original would have been sitting in. All those jumper cables are cut, they're desoldered. This one is newly soldered in. I filled in every solder hole. This old relay, it's going to stay here because it's glued to the PCB board. I don't really want to put a lot of high heat on there to try to loosen that glue up for fear of damage to the board, and I don't want to certainly just pry it off because I think it could break the board apart if I did that. And it's not really doing any harm. It's just sitting there. It'll look funny if anyone ever pulls this out again after me. They'll wonder why this is sitting here, but it's not in circuit. It's just there, I guess, messing with the aesthetics. So we're going to leave it. The next thing to do, I mean, the part's replaced, so we've got to go in and test it. And the only way to test it is to take it and plug it back in. All right, so just enough clearance there. I'll get this screwed in and screwed back together, and then we can test the stereo. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to set the bias on the power card. You know, we've done a little work, we've pulled things in and out, plus it's probably never been set before, or at least not since it was new or last worked on. What you should do is you can go out there online and find in the manual the procedures here. Now I don't know how well you can read that because I'm showing you on a computer, but what I've done is I've hooked little jumpers up to each of the test points inside the amp. I've also turned the amp on, volume at 0, nothing playing through it. Let it warm up for about 10 minutes. And then, you know, use each of these test points to test it. So I'm going to try to get you in here. Show you just a little closer. There are, if you can see it, there are a couple just little posts down in here. Now each one of them is numbered. There's 3 actually, and the posts are there to test off of, right? So the first, oh, and also there's these little pots. And not sure how well you can see, so I'm going to give you some light here. But that little purple thing in there is a pot that can be twisted back and forth to up or lower the voltage. And you can adjust so you get the right reading. So the first test is between ground and terminal 9. So terminal 9's on this side. It's very close to terminal 7. Terminal 7's the inside terminal, but I've got it hooked up. You can see terminal 9 is the yellow. Ground we have going up here. And you're supposed to make sure this one reads 0 volts. So let's give you... Well, the light's not coming on it, but we have 0 volts right now. Now, I adjusted that one just a few seconds ago before I turned on the camera because that pot is way deep down in there and it'd be very, very hard to show you. Set this down. Yeah, so the next thing we'll do is now switch up our jumper. So the next one is terminal 7 and terminal 19. Okay, so terminal 19 is on the left side here. I've got this red jumper hooked up to it. And on the right side, the green jumper is terminal 7. So obviously we're going to want to first disconnect both of these and then go ahead and connect them. I think it's also good probably not to do it the way I'm doing it for ease of showing you. You want to make sure that you can't go crossing wires and get bad readings because of it. So, you know, probably best to just hook up one jumper at a time. But for ease of use here, we're doing it this way. You want to switch over to millivolts. We're supposed to have 100 millivolts on this. We have 95 right now. So what we do, come up here to this pot. And we're going to twist it, right? So I'll show you the voltmeter. It's very sensitive, so see how quickly. This is, you guys can't tell very well, but I'm just barely turning it. And that's, you know, right there about, it's hard to get it perfect, right? But that's close enough and within spec. So we've got the right readings now. Okay, so we've tested the SX1250. We've tested the check terminals for bias offset on the power amp card. We've set those. We've replaced the relay and tested plenty of other stuff. And now we're gonna see if it works. So let's turn it on. You hear the relay click on there. Let's turn up the volume. Across the cell, he grabbed his pants and fed and stands for we jumped so high. And then he clicked his heels. So I don't know if you guys can hear it there, but we've got a success. Left and right channels now working in the SX1250. There's no scratchiness. Things are clean. The stereo is working, and very excited for that. Feel free to like this video or subscribe to our channel. Thank you for watching, and enjoy your day.